anything paranormal. Not ghosts. Not spirits. Not anything like that. But after that night, I stopped questioning things I can't explain. This happened in 2021, when I was living alone in New York City. I had a small apartment in Queens. Nothing fancy, just a quiet place I could afford. Too quiet, actually. At first, I thought it was perfect. No loud neighbors, no traffic noise, just silence. But after a while, that silence started to feel wrong. One night, I came home around 1:30 a.m. I was exhausted. I locked the door, checked my phone, and went straight to bed. Everything felt normal, until it didn't. At exactly 2:17 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I stared at the screen for a few seconds, debating whether to answer. Something about it felt off, but I picked up anyway. Hello. Silence. No voice, no background noise, just breathing. Slow. Steady, like someone was standing right next to me. I frowned. Hello? Who is this? No response. Just that same breathing. And then the call ended. I sat there, confused. Maybe a prank call. Maybe a wrong number. So I put my phone down and tried to sleep. But a few minutes later, it rang again. Same number. My chest tightened. This time, I didn't want to answer. But I did. Listen, if this is a joke, I stopped. Because what I heard next made my blood run cold. It was my voice, not echoing me, not repeating what I said, but speaking on its own. Please, help me. I froze. That was my voice. Exactly. Same tone, same pitch. But I wasn't speaking. I couldn't. I just listened. He's in the closet. The call cut off. I slowly lowered the phone. My hands were shaking. I didn't move. I couldn't. And then, without thinking, I turned my head towards the closet. It was closed. But something about it felt different. Like the darkness inside wasn't empty anymore. I grabbed my phone again, my heart pounding, and checked the call log. The number that called me was mine. My exact number. That's not possible, I whispered to myself. But before I could think any further, I heard it, a sound, from inside the closet. Tap. I stopped breathing. Another one. Tap. Tap. Slow. Deliberate, like something was touching the door from the inside. My body felt frozen. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't move. Then, my phone rang again. Same number. My number. I stared at it. Every instinct told me not to answer. But something inside me forced me to. I picked up, held it to my ear. And this time, there was no breathing, no silence, just a whisper. Clear, cold, right next to my ear. Don't open it. Before I could react, bang! The closet door shook violently, like something slammed against it from the inside. Again, bang! The handle rattled. The wood creaked, like it was about to break. I screamed, dropped my phone, and ran. I didn't think. I didn't look back. I just ran out of my apartment, barefoot, heart racing. I pounded on my neighbor's door. They opened it, confused, and I told them to call 911. The police arrived within minutes. 2 officers went upstairs. I stayed outside. There was no way I was going back in there alone. A few minutes passed. Felt like forever. Then they came back down. Everything's clear, one of them said. No one inside. I didn't believe them. I couldn't. But I followed them back up anyway. Slowly. Carefully. When I stepped into my apartment, everything looked normal. Too normal. But then I saw it. The closet. The door was wide open. I stopped. My heart dropped. My phone was lying on the floor, right in front of the closet. One of the officers asked, "Did you leave it like this?" I shook my head. I couldn't speak. They checked again. Closet, empty. Nothing inside. No one. But I knew I wasn't alone that night. I didn't stay. I packed what I could the next day and left. For good. A week later, I got a voicemail. Unknown number. I didn't want to listen to it. I really didn't. But eventually, I did. At first, nothing. Just silence. Then, a whisper. My voice. You left me here. I deleted it immediately, changed my number, moved out of the city, and I never went back. But sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I still wake up for no reason. And every time, without thinking, I look at my closet. Just to make sure it's still closed. Because after that night, I learned one thing. Sometimes, the call isn't coming from outside. It's already inside your home. I used to take the subway every night. Same train, same time, same route. Nothing ever happened. Until one night, something did. This was back in 2022, when I was working late shifts in New York City. I usually got off work around midnight and took the subway home around 12:30. It wasn't unusual. New York never really sleeps, but that night felt different. The station was almost empty. No crowds, no noise, just the distant hum of the tracks. I'd remember checking the time. 12:47 a.m. My train was late. That alone was already strange. After about 10 minutes, the train finally arrived, but something felt off immediately. There were no announcements, no conductor voice, just the doors opening in complete silence. I stepped inside. The car was empty. Not a single person. Now that's not normal. Not even that late at night. But I was too tired to think much of it. So I sat down, right by the window. The doors closed. The train started moving. And for a few minutes, everything was normal. Until the lights flickered. Once, twice, then went completely dark. For a few seconds, there was nothing. No light. No sound, just darkness. Then suddenly, the lights came back on. And I wasn't alone anymore. There was someone sitting across from me. I swear, there was no one there before. He was just there, sitting still, looking down. I felt my chest tighten. But I tried to stay calm. Maybe he got on without me noticing. Maybe I was just tired. The train kept moving, no stops, no announcements. I looked out the window. The tunnel looked wrong. Too dark, too long, like we weren't passing any stations. Then, the man slowly lifted his head and looked straight at me. His eyes looked empty, not blank, not normal, just wrong. He smiled, slowly. "Missed your stop," he said. My stomach dropped. I hadn't even reached my stop yet. "What?" I said quietly. He tilted his head, still smiling. "You weren't supposed to get on this train." My heart started racing. I looked around. The entire car was still empty, except for him. I stood up, walked towards the door, pressed the emergency button. Nothing happened. No response, no sound. When I turned back, he was closer. Not walking, not moving, just closer. "How did you... You should have waited," he interrupted. His voice was different now. Deeper. Distorted. The lights flickered again. For a split second, everything went dark. And when the lights came back, he was standing right in front of me. I froze. I couldn't move. He leaned in slightly and whispered, "Not every train takes you home." The lights went out again. This time, longer. I could hear something. Not the train. Not the tracks. Breathing right next to my ear. I shut my eyes. I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to move. And then, the train suddenly stopped. The lights came back. I was alone. The doors opened. I looked outside. It was my station. Like nothing ever happened. I didn't question it. I ran, straight out of the train, up the stairs, out into the street. I didn't stop until I got home. The next day, I checked the subway schedule. There was no train at 12:47 a.m. Not on that line. Not at that station. I even asked one of the workers. He looked confused. "There hasn't been a train running that late on that track for months," Or said. I felt cold. "Why?" I asked. He hesitated, then said quietly, "There was an accident. A train went out of service, never made it to the next station." I didn't ask anything else. I didn't want to know. I stopped taking the subway after that. Now I take rides or walk. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Because sometimes, late at night, when I pass by a station, I still hear it. A train arriving, no announcements, no people, just the doors opening, in silence. And I swear, if I look closely, I can see someone inside, waiting for someone who makes the same mistake I did.